This is FilmBookCast.
FilmBookCast.
FilmBookCast, the official podcast of FilmBook. Get ready for the latest in film news, TV show news, and theatrical reviews. FilmBook's podcast starts now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to FilmBookCast, the official podcast of FilmBook. My name is Chris Banks. If you're tuning in for the first time, what I do on FilmBookCast, I discuss the latest film and TV show news. I also review an in-theater film sometimes. You can find more about FilmBookCast on film-book.com by using the search term FilmBookCast. You can also email us at podcast@film-book.com with FilmBookCast in the subject line. Let's jump right into it this week. According to Deadline this week, Pitch Perfect alum Rebel Wilson and Riverdale actor Charles Melton is set to join the forthcoming adventure comedy film titled K-Pop Lost in America. The film centers around a South Korean boy group who gets stranded in Texas. It'll be directed by Jae Koo-yoon, and there's no word yet on when production will begin, but it follows a breakout K-pop group that finds themselves mistakenly stranded in Waco, Texas. Left with no phones, no money, and no transportation, the group must overcome their differences and a host of crazy obstacles to make it to New York City. Along the way, they learn to love Texas, and Texas learns to love them back. Production is expected to begin sometime this fall, and we'll keep up with news, but exciting news for any fans of Rebel Wilson. Some more film news from this week. The producer of James Bond gave fans a big hint about how long they'll have to wait for the next installment. Considering that they're reinventing Bond and they haven't even found the next Bond, we're going to have to wait at least 2 years for production to begin on the next Bond. So fans of James Bond will have to wait at least 3 years to see the next new film. Some more exciting film news from this week. According to Deadline, Percy Jackson star Logan Lerman and Bridgerton breakout Phoebe Dynevor have officially signed on to lead the romantic comedy titled The Threesome. It's a high-concept, character-driven story from director Chad Hartigan. The project has been likened to Judd Apatow's epic comedy Knocked Up. It centers around the aftermath of one impulsive, seemingly innocuous decision. When a young man's perennial crush leads him into an unexpected threesome, he thinks it's his ultimate fantasy come true. But when the fantasy ends, all three are left with sobering real-world consequences, forcing them to take responsibility for their actions, even if it means compromising the lives they've always envisioned. No word yet on when the production will begin on the threesome, but we'll keep up with news. That's it for movie news from this week. In some more TV news, Netflix has released an upcoming trailer for Keep Breathing. It's an upcoming survival drama miniseries starring the Scream star Melissa Barrera. Netflix will debut the series on Thursday, July 28th. The synopsis is after her private plane crashes in the remote Canadian frontier, lone survivor and New York lawyer Liv must battle both an unforgiving wilderness and past personal traumas to stay alive. The film is directed by Maggie Kiley and Rebecca Rodriguez. No word yet on when the production wrapped, but we will look forward to the debut of the series on Thursday, July 28th on Netflix. The last bit of TV news we'll talk about this week, any fans of Mare of Easttown and Kate Winslet will be excited as HBO has found a new project with her in the form of a limited series titled Trust, based on the Hernan Diaz best-selling 2022 novel of the same name. She's going to be the leading role of the film, and the story centers around a wealthy financier who is dissatisfied by a novel based on his life and his wife's betrayal. So he asks his secretary to ghostwrite his memoir and set the record straight. The secretary, however, grows uncomfortably aware that he is rewriting history and his wife's place in it. Told in 4 different voices and genres, Trust is a narrative puzzle that subverts the notion of truth and who gets to define it. Exciting synopsis. I'll be keeping an eye on Trust as production will probably begin over the next several months. That's it for TV news from this week. This week in international movie news, BAFTA-nominated actor Ashim Chaudhry is set to lead a Nordic streaming adaptation of Listen Up. Chaudhry starred in Black Mirror and Wonder Woman 1984, and will star alongside newcomers Muhammad Ahmed and Liza Hayder in the film about 15-year-old Mahmoud, who is looking forward to the summer vacation. When his uncle arrives on a visit from Pakistan, he takes on a task of showing him everything the capital city has to offer, and at the same time, his younger brother lets him in on a personal secret. The film will drop early next year on a Nordic streamer, and it's based on the novel that's the most borrowed book from the Oslo Public Library. Another exciting bit of international movie news: continuing Star Trek and G.I. Joe star Rachel Nichols is set to lead a drama thriller, Dark Night of the Soul. It follows a brilliant scientist who gets trapped in her car after a terrible crash. Isolated and struggling to survive, her survival is essential because she holds the key to a cure of the pandemic raging across the world. No release date yet or production start date for Dark Night of the Soul, but exciting news for any fans of Rachel Nichols. The last bit of international movie news we'll check out this week is an exciting bit of news that Disney Plus has teamed up with Beta Film and Morena Films on an adaptation of a young adult mystery novel franchise, The Invisible Girl. The Spanish arm streamer of Disney Plus has put the 8-hour series into production in southern Spain and various locations across the province of Seville. The series is based on a trilogy of books from Blue Jeans. It's being described as an atmospheric thriller and will keep up with news about The Invisible Girl and exciting news from Disney Plus. That's it for international movie news from this week. This week in home releases, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. It's about the wizarding world and how they got involved in World War II. The characters explore China, Germany, and Bhutan. They also explore the United Kingdom and the United States. They have to deal with the growing power of Grindelwald. Dumbledore picks Newt and his friends to form a team to go up against Grindelwald. Albus has to decide whether he wants to get involved or sit on the sidelines. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore is now available on DVD. Another at-home release this week is The Artist's Wife. When an elderly renowned painter begins to lose his memory, his wife is forced to check him into a long-term health facility. As his dementia worsens, she attempts to contact his family, for whom she's been estranged for many years. While grappling with the situation, his wife begins to find solace in painting again. She is also attempting to keep the art community in the dark regarding his mental decline. She soon faces the choice of basking in her own newfound spotlight or receding into the shadows of her husband's illness. The Artist's Wife is now available on DVD. Horror Noir is now available on DVD. It's a collection of 6 horror stories written and directed by African-American talent. The idea is based on the 2019 book of the same name. Horror Noir takes on the horror movies from the black perspectives with a bit of the 70s mixed in. Horror Noir is now available on DVD. That's it for home releases from this week. This week in movie trailers gave us the Hocus Pocus 2 trailer. I think it's one of Disney's most watched trailers that they released. The highly anticipated sequel that's been almost, 30 years in the making. 3 young women accidentally bring back the Sanderson sisters to modern-day Salem, and they must figure out how to stop the child-hungry witches from wreaking havoc on the world. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy are back. Check out the trailer for Hocus Pocus 2. It'll be on Disney Plus September 30th. Another cool movie trailer that debuted this week is George Clooney and Julia Roberts reunite in Ticket to Paradise. It follows a divorced couple that teams up and travels to Bali to stop their daughter from making the same mistake they think they made 25 years ago. Also starring Lucas Bravo and Caitlin Dever. Check out the trailer for Ticket to Paradise. It reminds me of every romantic comedy that came out in the early 2000s. It'll come out on October 21st of this year. The last movie trailer we'll talk about this week is a genuinely scary horror movie. It's coming to us September 30th of this year, starring Sosie Bacon, Cal Penn, Jesse Usher, Caitlin Stacey, Kyle Gallner. The title is Smile. After witnessing a bizarre traumatic incident involving a patient, Dr. Rose Cotter starts experiencing frightening occurrences that she can't explain. As an overwhelming terror begins to take over her life, Rose must confront her troubling past in order to survive and escape her horrifying new reality. I've honestly never seen a recent horror movie with a trailer as powerful as Smile. It's genuinely scary. Check out the trailer for Smile. It'll debut in theaters September 30th. That's it for movie trailers. This week in TV trailers, in the new Apple TV Plus thriller series Surface, a woman is recovering after she fell off a boat, or was she pushed? In the new trailer for the upcoming series, Gugu Ra of the morning show stars as Sophie, who is left with severe memory loss after tumbling into the ocean. Everyone tells her she tried to take her own life by jumping, and her husband just wants to have a fresh start. She frantically digs for answers, and her Coast Guard rescuer tells tells her that she gave her a different name than the one on her ID. Check out the trailer for Surface. It'll debut on Apple TV Plus with the first 3 episodes July 29th. Another TV trailer that debuted this week is the first official American Horror Stories spin-off. Ryan Murphy's American Horror Stories returns for a season 2 July 21st, and FX and Hulu officially unleashed the official trailer this week. It's filled with human-doll hybrids, suggesting that the new season will be going heavily on the creepy doll imagery. There's no real footage from the upcoming season, so it's hard to know what to expect. But check out the trailer for American Horror Stories. It'll debut on FX and Hulu July 21st. The last TV trailer we'll check out this week comes from the CW. They officially released the first trailer for Stargirl Season 3, featuring the return of Courtney Whitmore in the Justice Society of America. While the CW cut several DC TV shows this year, including Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow, this fall will still have some superhero action for the network. Stargirl has become one of CW's most popular DC TV shows. Check out the trailer for Season 3 of Stargirl. It'll debut on the CW this fall. Thanks so much for checking us out this week. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of FilmBookCast. You can find more of my work on film-book.com. Just search for Chris Banks or FilmBookCast. You can also find me on Twitter at cbanksy, S-E-E Banksy. I'm also on Instagram at the Chris Banks. If you listen to this podcast on iTunes or another podcast service, please rate and review this episode. If you're listening to this podcast on our YouTube channel, FilmBook Podcast, please like our video, subscribe to our channel, and leave us a comment in the comments section. It really helps people discover our podcast. Please also consider becoming one of our patrons on patreon.com/filmbook. Your support helps us create more engaging content. You'll find our Patreon link below in the description. If you want to tweet about this podcast, just use the hashtag FilmBookCast. Tune in next week for the next episode of the FilmBookCast. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you